Hey people, what's up? Today I'm going to be making some house in the style of Eli and Fur. Someone requested that and I'm very happy to oblige. And I'm also very sorry that I am sick right now, so bear with me through the horrible sick voice and all of this going on. And before we hop into Ableton, I do want to mention this video is sponsored by Audimee. Audimee is a website where you can generate royalty-free vocals using one of their AI-trained artists. So you can feed it your own vocals or vocals from somewhere else, and it will transform them into a pretty professional sounding singer. And they have quite a few different options to choose from here. This is great for someone like me who can kind of hold a pitch, but I'm definitely not the world's best singer, which you will see shortly. So let's go ahead and dive into making this song, and I'll talk about Audimee a little bit more in just a bit. Okay, so for today we're going to be at 117, and if we're talking Eli and Fur style, we're thinking more like melodic, organic. So I'm going to start with the free Spitfire Audio soft piano from Labs. Really, really nice, and if you don't have this one, you should check it out. Do something nice for yourself today. Let's go ahead and start with just a 4-bar clip of some chords here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do this in C minor today. So let's just do kind of some simple chords because we're going to have a lot of other stuff happening. So here's our C minor triad, C, E flat, G. And I'm going to go ahead and hold Shift and up to move that up an octave. I'm also going to copy that C up an octave as well. And then let's go ahead and hold Control. And I can move that over now. So let's just move this down. And let's grab these as well. Let's move that down. So now we have that B flat major. So 1, 7. And let's see, where should we resolve this to? Let's copy this over one more time. Kind of like this downward progression. So let's go ahead and move it down one more time and see where we end up. So maybe that F minor. That sounds pretty nice. So let's go ahead and just put that out. Let's shorten this one to here. Have this one come in a little bit early. All right, that sounds pretty good. I'm just going to cut out quite a bit of that low end and then just that warm mid-range and just a little bit of compression here on those peaks. Okay, now that we have that beautiful piano, let's add an ethereal sounding pad to complement it. So I'm going to hold Control, drag that down to the next MIDI track. Let's grab Operator and let's just create a pad real quick. So let's solo that. So we've got our sine wave. Let's bring the attack up a little bit. I'm going to turn this off of FM mode. So basically I'm going to click here and click this one. So now we basically have 4 oscillators. So let's turn this one up a little bit. Let's change the wave table to a saw. Change the coarse pitch up to 2. Let's up the attack a little bit. Let's take the filter down. Okay, so let's start with an EQ. And I want this to have a little bit more of those higher frequencies. Let's go ahead and cut that. Let's go ahead and add some hybrid reverb here. And this is just kind of pushing it back into the mix. Okay, and to make this pad a little more beautiful, let's go ahead and add a grain delay. So I'm going to put that after the reverb. So right now it's not doing a whole lot. So let's go ahead and I'm going to turn the frequency down because I don't really want to granulate it too much, just a little bit. And then I want to take the pitch up an octave. Let's go ahead and take the dry wet down. Turn that delay so it's not really delaying it. I really just want to kind of add a layer is what I'm doing with this. Let's turn up the feedback a little bit. And it's already beautiful. And then what you can do here to kind of make this track kind of breathe a little bit is just automate this dry wet, which I'm not going to do at the moment. I'll probably do that in the arranging stage, but just a really nice thing to be able to take this dry wet and kind of make it come in and out. Okay, now that we have some basic chords down, let's go ahead and talk about the vocals, because if we're doing an Eli and Fur style track, we definitely need some beautiful breathy vocals. So I went ahead and recorded my own vocals, which are neither beautiful nor breathy, but this is where Audimee is going to help me out. So I'm going to go ahead and play my vocal for you. This is just completely raw, no effects put on it.
You'll never know what you mean to me. You'll never know what you've done to me. You've got my heart on a string. Another broken thing.
Okay, so now let's take my vocals and see what we can turn them into if we use Audimee. So let's check out some of the artists that we have to choose from. So you come here to create vocals and you have all of these different artists to choose from. There's male and female singers, and they have these tags on the bottom to kind of guide you toward what style you're looking for. So let's just check out Mark and see what he sounds like.
Oh, yeah. Been living this life so patient.
Sounds great. Not really the style we're going for this one. Let's check out Becky. We're looking for something airy, kind of breathy, so let's see how she sounds.
I guess what I've been saying is there ain't no better reason to rid yourself of vanities.
Sounds great too. Let's check here. There are a ton of options. Let's try Adriana.
You look as good as the day.
Okay, I think that's close to exactly what I'm looking for, so I'm going to choose her. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my vocals and drop them in here. And then you can come down here and you can pitch shift it if you want. So you can change it. Maybe if you wanted to change it to a guy's voice, you could take it down 12 semitones, or the opposite, do male to female and take it up 12 semitones. And then they also have this option to isolate the vocals. So if you want to try and remove some background noise, if there's some reverb or some extra echo, you can turn that on and that'll try and clean up your audio for you. So once you have your options, go ahead and hit convert. And boom, I just downloaded that from the website, brought it into my Ableton session, and it sounds like this.
You'll never know what you mean to me. You'll never know what you've done to me. I've got my heart on a string. Another broken thing.
Okay, that actually sounds really, really great. So I'm going to stick with that. And you know what? I'm actually going to try one other artist, since Eli and Fur is a duo, and I'm going to just layer them together. I'm going to go ahead and try Angela. So now that I have both those vocals, I went ahead and just did a little bit of compression, some EQ, a little bit of delay, and they sound great together.
You'll never know what you mean to me. You'll never know what you've done to me. I've got my heart on a string. Another broken thing.
Awesome. Let's get some drums in here now. Okay, so as usual, we're just starting with a 4 to the floor kick pattern. Okay, next I want to go ahead and get a hi-hat in there. So I have this hat, and for Eli and Fur, this seems a little bit harsh still. So I'm actually just going to take the beginning of this sample and drag it a little bit further in like that, just so it's not quite as transient heavy. And let's go ahead and just draw in some 16th notes here. So I'll do 4 like that. And I'm just holding Alt, and it'll give you this arrow to manipulate the velocity information. So I think that sounds pretty good. So I'm just going to duplicate those 4 out the rest of the way here. And another thing you can do to make this sound just a little bit more humanized is we can grab an LFO. And I'm going to drop that. Make sure you drop it on this, in this area here, which you can see I'm struggling with. Drop it right there onto this sample so it's not affecting everything in your drum rack. And I'm going to hit map, and I'm going to map it to the decay. So kind of hear what that's doing. It's just making the, it's kind of dragging the sample out by lengthening and shortening the decay. So I'm going to have it kind of play in time with my beat. So let's just have the kick drum. So it's just adding just a little bit more groove and a little bit more rhythm. So another thing you'll see I have in this drum rack is a tom drum. And I just went through and tuned this so that it is in pitch kind of with the rest of the song. And I just have a little bit of saturation and some EQ on there as well. So let's just go ahead and add this in, kind of just get some rhythm going along with the kick drum. Okay, next I just want to add a little bit more kind of percussion here to fill this out. So I found this kind of funky sounding loop. So I'm actually just going to take the first bar of this. So let's come in here to the audio, and I'm going to change the warping type here to that one single arrow. Let's drag this down. And let's change it to 16th notes. So now we're just kind of getting a nice kind of percussive element. And I'm just going to pitch this way up. So now it almost kind of sounds like a shaker. And then to finish off the drums, I have this snare and this clap that I'm layering together. And I'm kind of doing the same thing I did with the hi-hat, where I'm kind of taking off the harsher transient of both of these, so we're just kind of getting a more mellow sound. Okay, so for our simple bass here, I just have MIDI following along the C, the what would be B flat in our scale, and the F. So it's following along with the root notes of the chords. And so this one I just made really quickly in wavetable. So I just chose the saw pulse wave bass, and you can come in here and pick different types of wavetables. So I just chose that one, and I just have envelope 2 controlling the frequency cutoff here. And really there's just a little bit of saturation, chorus, and the main thing that's probably the most important here is the amplitude envelope, because you can see that this is not like staying sustained the whole time. So it's kind of hitting and then dropping out of the way, because we really don't need super heavy bass in this track. Okay, and the last thing I want to create before starting arranging is like kind of a lead or melodic instrument for like an ARP. So I'm going to use wavetable, and let's just throw this together real quick. Start with like a triangle, and for the second oscillator, let's go between like a triangle and a saw, just so we have some extra high frequency information, so we can kind of use that to our advantage here. And then let's change this to a pluck. So let's drag this back just a little bit. Something like that. And then let's assign that envelope to a filter frequency cutoff. Add some unison. And then let's go ahead and draw in a pattern here.
One eternity later.
We have this. So let's add some processing to this. So just some saturation, some EQ, kind of cutting the lows and boosting the highs. Echo, some reverb to push it back a little bit. And then we're going to sidechain this as well. Okay, so I went through and did a little bit of arrangement here. I added a few things. So I added this pad. This is actually, I think, just a preset from Serum. Just a little extra high-end energy, mainly for the chorus section. I have, what else did I add? Just some stuff for the intro. So I did this little kind of clicky percussion, some organic sounding percussion here, just for some extra ambience in the beginning. Drums are all the same. Some extra little wind gusts. Again, just trying to find some organic elements to add to this, because listening to Eli and Fur, they have just a lot of this stuff that kind of pops in and out randomly. So we have our lead. I also added a second lead instrument with Serum. And since this ARP is just kind of busy, I kind of wanted something a little less busy to play in the chorus section here. So I think that's the majority of it. I recorded some extra vocals here just to kind of fill out the song. And yeah. And that's pretty much going to do it for this one. If you'd like to check out Audimee, I'm going to have a link to their website in the description below. So until next time, take care, and I will play the final beat for you guys.